He's not firing.
Well, there was something that all of us ended up playing. Airframe Ultra.
Airframe Ultra. A PS1-esque. What would you call combat racing game? But it's not what you think of when you say combat. You think either Mario Kart or
Ridge Racer or Wave Race. I mean,
it was like there's a lot of Wave Race. It felt
it felt like it's sort of like a combination between Jet Moto, Road Rash, and
it was like weird Fortnite-ish stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It has a
where you're on your feet.
Yeah,
you jump off the bikes, get on the feet, and attack.
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like third person.
We're finally breaking in with the youth.
Yeah. No, it's like because I don't understand because it has all of these like check boxes. Like if you describe this game down, it's like the
process of the game is this: basically, you are racing on these hover bikes, things, and then you race, and the person who wins that quote-unquote lap, then you guys stop and you get into this area.
It's like a combat arena,
open combat arena,
and
then it's like these you get points, you fight, and then you jump back on your bikes and you go.
And you get money somehow.
Yeah, there's money. Like I was unclear how to get money other than driving through the green pillars of light.
The green. If you win races to win the race.
Yeah, I had no idea. It took me until the last lap to even get a gun because you only got the weapons if you had the money to get the weapon.
You could find some weapons.
The only time I had a gun was when I died and I could purchase.
You could purchase if you die, it gives you the option.
I purchased several weapons and didn't use them a single time.
I kept forgetting. I kept forgetting. I think that was kind of the fault of the game.
Here's how.
Besides really bad camera.
Yeah, really bad camera.
Not just bad, but touchy.
Yeah, and the cardinal sin of this is acceleration is on the left trigger.
Oh yeah, the left. It was so difficult. I
think because they wanted to have combat be on the right trigger.
Was combat on the right trigger?
It was on the right trigger. You can fire your gun while you're driving. While you're driving or on foot.
Okay.
So if you get to the combat arena without a weapon and you get off your bike, you just start throwing punches. And that's how you just right trigger.
I was pressing button.
Yeah, but like B was kick or something, and I was getting mad a bunch.
There was some ragdollish attacks.
And it was weird because it was like the face buttons were unclear what any of them did. I know triangle was boost, and it was.
Well, you guys, I kept seeing you guys get off your bikes, and I was like, "How do you get off your bikes?"
Yeah, I had no idea either.
I held X for like 15 seconds, and nothing happened.
Because I was pressing every button, but it was so you have to hold it.
Unfortunately, they had 2 PlayStation controllers and 2 Xbox controllers.
Yes, which also didn't help. You were like, hold X, and I'm like,
which one's X?
I'm sorry, Square.
Yeah. I did. I felt pretty silly.
Yeah. Well, no,
it sucked getting off the bike.
Yeah,
it's really slow.
It was really slow on foot. You barely move.
You don't move.
And I didn't know what the point was because it gets to a point where if you're in the combat arena and you get off your bike and you're trying to fuck each other up, there's a countdown to get back to your bike because the race is going to pick up again. And if your bike is on the other end of the combat arena, it's going to take you way too long to get back to it.
And you're already back in the race.
The amount of time you have to hold X to mount or dismount the bike
is kind of long.
Is like a full second, which is not.
You know, it would kind of be a mistake, if you get off and instead, boom, you're in this weird first person.
Sure.
And you're just throwing bricks.
Cool. That'd be cool.
Because you could buy bricks for $50.
Yeah. Yeah,
I want to throw bricks in first person.
Yeah,
but it wasn't visually the game went with the
story. I liked it visually.
Yeah, well, it looks really cool.
It looks really cool. It doesn't play as the looks and the actual gameplay don't sync up well because
I don't know. It feels like a really bad PS1 racing game that would have come out during the time.
I think that if the camera was really tight, the racing would have actually felt pretty good.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where you flip if you just barely tilted the stick, it would just start whipping around the bike.
Yeah, well, and in most racing games, you can't completely move the stick 360 to look behind you.
Yeah,
and if you push down at all, your bike just flipped around. You did a complete 360. So it was okay, so how do I, because it's floating, so how do I balance on terrain and stuff to get the bike to accelerate better or whatever?
A good racing game needs to have the camera sort of be stuck to like the camera just needs to follow you, and let me have camera control independently, but it needs to snap back or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there should just be like a hold down to reverse kind of like.
Yeah.
And
It does feel like some of these things could be adjusted and tweaked and fixed, and then it could become much more of a enjoyable experience. But it was difficult for the four of us as we were playing it, and we're all kind of walking away, and we're just like, yeah, there's some issues with this that we couldn't quite get over to actually enjoy it.
Yeah, it felt a lot like a multiplayer mode that might have been in a first person like single player game, but like almost like the driving and the shooting isn't what the game's about or something, because like neither of those felt like tight at all. So like, and we were like missing the sort of part that explained like why we were doing all this or what was going on.
It's actually a dating sim.
Dating sim. That makes sense.
What was that one game that we saw last year? The horny pilot, like the one.
There was a shmup that was like you beat the boss, and it was like basically like, sick, I will have sex with you. And you're like, what's going on?
It's like Jet Girls.
What are you talking about?